Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. This is the most exciting time it's ever been to be an XRP holder. And there are a few major reasons why I say this. It's becoming increasingly clear that the SEC versus Ripple case is nearing its conclusion. And I am extremely confident that what ought to be done legally will be done in the end. Even if, in theory, Rippling was at a loss. Since it makes the most logic, I expect a highly favorable legal conclusion for out forever XRP. It's not a given just because that's what previous cases suggest. But that's a huge cause for celebration. I mean, just take a look at how crypto has done this year alongside what is widely thought, at this moment, by credible analysts to be the beginning phases of a bull market. The growth compared to previous year is startling. With all the FTX craziness in November of last year, I believe we reached rock bottom. That's it unless something completely unexpected happens. This is a fantastic and thrilling time to be an XRP holder. I've never been more hopeful and enthusiastic about the future of XRP in particular, and yet here we are. This is one of the expert crypto projects. If XRP breaks out between now and December, we should expect a 31x increase to $15. Let me be clear, I am not a price predictor and never will be. However, the fact that insurance was purchased does not surprise me in the least. In my opinion, XRP will soon move away from its current lows. I am aware of its erratic behavior, but I also know that it will not continue to fluctuate within the range it has occupied for the past 5 years and more. Either it will reach an infinite high or it will vanish into nothingness. I don't think it has done any of those things yet, and that's what I think it is. I will continue to hold patiently. But before we go any further, let me make it perfectly clear that I am not a financial expert and am not giving any form of financial advice. Furthermore, you should not make any financial decisions based on what I say. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to share his knowledge on crypto-related issues through YouTube videos. But only as a pastime and for entertainment purposes. XRP is currently trading at 48 cents as I make this video. There are $1.21 trillion in assets, and Bitcoin controls about half of it. A 62 on the fear and greed scale for cryptocurrencies. Thus, avarice returns. And that's where we've spent the bulk of the last week. So, I'm relieved and not at all surprised to hear that. I can assure you, though, that I am not the only one who is hopeful about the future. Here's a tweet from one of my XRP friends. It feels fantastic to have more time to just sit and gaze at charts, the YouTuber and blockchain supporter wrote this morning. Again. This level of market optimism is unprecedented. The month of July is shaping up to be fantastic. Also, a large part of what I find fascinating is the analysis I'm reading from other chart guys. The SEC versus Ripple case, sometimes, but not always. A final result is reached. Most of the analysis I've seen from these individuals suggests they expect a significant upwards movement regardless of the aforementioned factors. They insist the location is the church. Then I reason that even if they're right, there's still no assurance. But if they're right and we do get positive news, to that extent, especially since I believe that news in the world of cryptocurrencies typically does about nothing for a price of pretty much any cryptocurrency, then this would obviously be an exception. So, approximately speaking, a 15-fold increase in XRP's price would be $15.31. Not completely insane, at least not to me. To avoid sounding like I'm just repeating what other people have said, I strive to avoid doing that here. Anyway, every now and then I've done a little. The ultimate expectation is set from the outset, but I don't think most people can see that. I don't think most people care to the extent that was kind of interested as to what the expectation is, so I won't go into a bunch of crap and hopefully keep your eyes from glazing over. Certain analysts, however, are anticipating this price range, albeit we won't go into detail. Again, this is merely what can be seen in the accompanying charts prior to the conclusion. A case of SCB Ripple. Between July and December was the time frame you mentioned. And I still maintain that you would have witnessed a huge explosion by now. Legal challenges be damned. There is no getting around the reality that, among the top 10 cryptocurrencies, only XRP failed to set a new all-time high during the last run in 2021. If things hadn't happened this way, and you don't believe me, consider this. So, it's clear that we haven't reached the point of elation just yet, but I have faith that we will. Check out this. Someone using by the handle Defi Surfer posted a Google Trends graphic showing the rise and fall of interest in Bitcoin and artificial intelligence. In addition, I can temporarily switch to full screen mode here. So this guy wrote about how, despite a 5% year-over-year increase and a steady ascent, retail interest in Bitcoin, as measured by Google searches, is at an all-time low. He even included a comparison to AI searches to put things in perspective. Isn't that enlightening? Consider how incredibly well this year has gone for a wonderful cryptocurrency, as I alluded to previously. I don't see the point. Where can one conduct a search for this? Did a lot of people suddenly start looking at Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? In all honesty, though, this is the norm. In fact, if you believe chart analysts, respectable crypto is here. Its 342,100 followers is about right for the current market condition. We will have likely already set a new record by the time this statistic begins to spike. And then, he also shared this with us. He dated it June 12th. However, it hits the nail on the head. As such, I urge you to read this. If you think the public and retailers aren't interested in Bitcoin, then you'll be one of the points on the chart below searching for how to buy Bitcoin when the price reaches new highs. The following graphic effectively illustrates the point that the general public and retail investors only become interested in a speculative asset after a dramatic increase in price. Since this is the natural state of the cryptocurrency market, it feels lifeless. Waiting for mainstream attention to revive Bitcoin's fortunes could lead you to re-enter the market well after it has already reached or even surpassed its previous highs. So, for example, you can compare this to the climate of the crypto market in January 2017, before I entered it in November of that year. You could say that it was year for advocacy because of the way things were. That intensity towards the end of 2017 was like that on steroids. At both Thanksgiving and Christmas feasts, that was the only topic of conversation. That's what this whole thread was about. Not nearly as much attention was paid to it. Think back to the beginning of 2017 when the price of Bitcoin was somewhere around $1, maybe $2,000. I'd have to look at a chart to be sure, but I recall it being around $1,000. Even by today's standards, that's a very low number, especially when contrasted to where it eventually settled at the end of 2017. People only became interested until the price increased dramatically. It always works out like this, too. Currently, crypto has a lot less media coverage. And you can see it by comparing what happened in 2021 to what you would observe during the ecstatic moments. But it will come again because human nature is cyclical and we keep repeating the same mistakes. Count me on as a supporter. I support this wholeheartedly. That's why I have to stress once more that this is an extremely exciting time to be involved in the crypto industry. Look at the headline, for example. Trillions of dollars might quickly move into altcoin markets as crypto flashes, and it all starts in the Daily Huddle. Lovely graph, macro expert and by the way, macro specialist and ex-Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal predicts XRP will rise above $10. I know this because he predicted an XRP price gain of tenfold following the SEC versus Ripple loss, at which point he began buying at a significant discount from the point where XRP was trading at roughly $1. He thought a tenfold increase from there would be fair. Anyway, read this wonderful article because he is awesome. Raoul Pal, a former executive at Goldman Sachs, predicts that as the altcoin markets prepare for a potential breakout, a flood of capital will likely pour into crypto. The macro expert has 997,100 followers on Twitter and tells us he's keeping a careful eye on Total 3, a chart that shows the entire market capitalization of crypto assets other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. To better understand the altcoin market, it is normal practice for policy memos to provide charts that exclude Bitcoins. And so I believe in this situation, the goal of Total 3, which once again is every crypto on the planet, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, is to leave Bitcoin out. The theory that there must be, because there is this knowledge that it has reached escape velocity, if you're just trying to get a feel for what's occurring in all markets. It appears to be so, and there is sufficient financial incentive to do so at the present time. That they're distinct enough from one another to let you anticipate what will occur. Let's just get to work in a way that's sufficiently novel in terms of potential and impact. Consequently, I recognize this chart's potential value. I apologize, but please proceed. Since Total 3 trades towards the top of a falling wedge shape, Paul sees this as optimistic, as a breakout may send the market cap of all cryptocurrencies soaring beyond $4 trillion. As a point of reference, I'll mention that the total value of all cryptocurrencies was around $3.2 trillion at the moment Bitcoin reached its all-time high. That goes for any and all currencies, including ETH and Bitcoin. So now we're talking about a $4 trillion market cap for all the coins that aren't Bitcoin or ETH, which is a forecast from Rob Hall. What he actually said was, and I quote, "Gorgeous chart alert, and it is one of the most bullish and immaculate charts I have ever seen. The estimated target sum is over $4 trillion. That is, once again, the overall market cap less the value of Bitcoin and Ether. And, I see something like this, and while I trust the premise, I have no idea whether or not the number he's writing it up to is 4 trillion or anything else. It's possible that I'm misstating the obvious. The thing is, I just looked at this. And I get that the human behaviors we are seeing are the result of individuals not paying close enough attention. You are, after all, so kudos to you. And I say this with all sincerity, good on you for paying attention, good luck with your crypto endeavors. Because, I think here is where the opportunity is before the masses leap in and take advantage of it. Check out this media. At the time of writing, the market value of all three is roughly $332.65 billion. An increase to $4 trillion may provide gains of over 1,100%. So, once again, I have no idea what will occur. I don't give out pricing forecasts. However, the prospect of future coins having individual market caps in the multi-trillion-dollar range does not strike me as absurd, and I have no trouble believing that this will happen. I don't see why it wouldn't happen after our market has stabilized. I don't find it absurd that the market capitalization of an entire asset class might be in the tens of trillions of dollars. And how could it possibly not? And it's not hard to see why. This is a big topic, but I've been discussing it for years, and I'm sure you've given this a lot of thought for quite some time as well. Because of this, not only is the cryptocurrency market not going away, but it's expanding. Despite this, less than 1% of the world's population has ever invested in cryptocurrency. Fewer than 1% of humans have ever held XRP. Market capitalizations in a variety of basic categories have already been seen. At this level, there is a lot of chopping and dicing. This is something we've witnessed before. You might as well just round down to zero at this point, but even if you only examine the number of humans involved, there's no reason why there shouldn't be a lot more. If you look closely, you can even anticipate BlackRock joining the fray, presumably to promote even more spot Bitcoin ETFs. What do you anticipate will occur? We've been hoping for action like that, and it looks like it's finally here. Now that you've gathered here, you may rest assured that at least you and I are paying attention. But know that this is probably the quiet before the storm, because things are about to spiral completely out of control. That's why we're so pumped about it. Except for the initial excitement caused by people finally grasping what all the fuss is about, now is the most exciting time in history to be an XRP bearer. Equally entertaining. When the price of XRP suddenly skyrockets. Life has put me in that position more than once. You will enjoy yourselves. It's a great place to hang out. Everyone is overjoyed. It's reassuring to know that you've got my full understanding. And I still think we're validated in the way that we're assessing the scenario. Even though we haven't seen a new all-time high for XRP, you're simply generally speaking, doesn't mean that there's a guarantee, and I understand that. Horrible stuff might happen. A total collapse to $0 could prove us wrong. But I think it's fair to be hopeful about what might happen if we wait and see. And yet, my enthusiasm remains unabated. The conclusion of this litigation has the potential to be a game-changing event, and I, for one, cannot wait for it to happen. Or, alternatively, I might find that one day the price of XRP has dropped to the tune of 3 cents, in which case I might conclude that Judge Torres did not treat us fairly. Obviously not that low, though. Rather, let me merely state. However, if the worst-case scenario should occur, I will still be holding on in the hopes that a higher court would eventually rule in our favor. In addition, I'm going to put this up on a video of its own. The outline for my upcoming video is complete. Also, I grew intellectually. I received it from a member of the XRP community and checked it out for myself because I hadn't come across it anywhere else. Yes, actually. Furthermore, this is a major reason why the SEC's legal arguments are completely unfounded. So in my upcoming video, I'll be covering that topic. But when I found out what I am about to tell you, I was like, y'all. So, let's just say I'm optimistic for good cause, even if a lower court gets something wrong here. You shouldn't use my advice to buy or sell anything because I'm not a financial expert. Right? Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video, bye.